Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of Westeros? In the shadowy realms of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, the White Walkers stand as one of the most enigmatic and terrifying threats ever faced by the people of Westeros. But what if I told you that their story is more than just a chilling tale of ice and death? What if their motives go beyond mindless destruction and are intricately linked to the very fate of the world itself? In this video, we'll unravel the ancient secrets of the White Walkers, exploring their magical abilities, their weaknesses, and the chilling theories about their true purpose. From their mysterious past to the hidden layers of their intentions, we'll dissect every detail to uncover what might be driving these icy horrors. So, grab your Valyrian steel and dragonglass, and get ready to dive into a world where nothing is as it seems and every revelation could change everything you thought you knew about A Song of Ice and Fire. The White Walkers are ancient, mysterious beings whose history is steeped in tales of terror and conquest. These creatures are not just myth but a very real threat in Game of Thrones. With their magical abilities, such as resurrecting the dead and manipulating ice, they have terrorized humanity for centuries. However, their power is not absolute. They have known weaknesses, including Valyrian steel and dragonglass. Yet, their return to Westeros signals more than just another war. It is a reminder of the deep, ancient magic that still flows through the land, as seen in House of the Dragon and the overarching lore of A Song of Ice and Fire. Their mysterious nature raises questions that go beyond their violent history. Why do they attack? What drives them? Some speculate that their actions are tied to something more profound than mere destruction, a quest for survival, revenge, or even conquest. The story of the White Walkers might not just be a simple tale of good versus evil, but rather a complex narrative woven into the very fabric of Westeros history. This complexity adds layers to their character, making us question everything we think we know about the eternal battle between ice and fire. The wall, which has stood for thousands of years, is often seen as a barrier to protect humanity from the White Walkers. But what if its purpose was more than just a defense? Some theories suggest that the wall was part of a treaty between the First Men and the White Walkers, a boundary set to maintain peace. This idea transforms the wall from a mere fortification into a symbol of a forgotten pact, one that has been overlooked as the memory of that ancient agreement faded over time. As Game of Thrones delves into these legends, the true significance of the wall might just be the key to understanding the White Walkers' true purpose. Speculation surrounds the White Walkers' motives, hinting at a purpose beyond mindless killing. Could they be driven by a desire for revenge, a fight for survival, or even a conquest of the living? This possibility suggests that their actions might be more complex than a simple struggle between good and evil. The White Walkers, rather than being mere antagonists, could represent a force with its own agenda, challenging the very notion of heroism in Westeros. As we delve deeper into the storylines of House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, these creatures' true goals might reveal themselves to be far more intricate and intertwined with the fate of Westeros than anyone could have imagined. As we unravel the layers of the White Walkers' motivations, it becomes clear that their presence in Westeros is not just a random occurrence. There is a calculated precision in their movements, a cold strategy that hints at a deeper understanding of the world they seek to dominate. This narrative complexity forces us to rethink what we know about the White Walkers and their role in A Song of Ice and Fire. Are they simply agents of destruction, or do they serve a greater purpose that ties directly into the fate of the living? The answers might be hidden in the ancient histories and prophecies that Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon continue to explore. This speculation opens up a myriad of possibilities. What if the White Walkers are not the mindless monsters they appear to be, but rather a civilization with its own culture, laws, and goals? If true, this would not only reshape our understanding of them but also challenge the very foundations of the world created by George R.R. Martin. It would force us to confront the idea that the conflict between the living and the dead is not merely a fight for survival but a clash of civilizations, each with its own right to exist in the world of Westeros. This could be the key to unraveling the true nature of the conflict in A Song of Ice and Fire. The wall has long been seen as a defensive structure built to keep the White Walkers at bay. However, there is a theory that it might have originally been part of a treaty between the First Men and the White Walkers. According to this idea, the wall was not just a barrier but a boundary marker, separating the realms of the living and the dead. This perspective adds a new dimension to the wall, transforming it from a mere fortification into a symbol of a forgotten pact that once ensured peace between two very different worlds. In Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, the wall's true purpose might be the key to understanding the ancient history of Westeros. This theory changes the narrative surrounding the wall entirely. Instead of being a simple defense mechanism, it becomes a testament to an ancient truce, a line drawn in the ice to keep the two sides apart. But as the memory of this truce fades, so does the effectiveness of the wall, allowing the White Walkers to return. This idea brings into question the very foundations of Westeros history and the fragile peace that has existed for millennia. The wall, therefore, is not just a structure. It is a symbol of a long-forgotten peace, now shattered as the White Walkers march south once again. If the wall was indeed part of a treaty, what does that mean for the future of Westeros? As the wall crumbles and the White Walkers advance, the ancient pact is broken, and the old rules no longer apply. This could lead to a new era of conflict, one that is not just about survival but about reclaiming a lost territory, a homeland that the White Walkers believe is rightfully theirs. In Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, this possibility adds a layer of complexity to the ongoing struggle, as the characters we know and love might be forced to confront the true history of the wall and the ancient beings it was meant to contain. The legend of the Night's King adds another layer of mystery to the White Walker's story. According to this tale, the Night's King was a former Lord Commander of the Night's Watch who fell in love with a White Walker woman and made a pact with her, becoming the Night's King. This story suggests that there was once a time when humans and White Walkers were not so different, that there was a connection, a bond forged in the darkest of times. This legend, which hints at a historical pact involving human sacrifices, challenges the traditional view of the White Walkers as mindless monsters and opens up the possibility of a more complex relationship between them and the humans of Westeros. This tale, buried in the myths of the North, suggests that the White Walkers once had a more direct influence over humanity, one that goes beyond mere warfare. The story of the Night's King implies that there might have been an understanding, even if a dark one, between the two races. If true, this could mean that the White Walkers' return is not just a reawakening of old enemies but a resurgence of ancient alliances, however twisted they might be. In Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, the legend of the Night's King might be a clue to understanding the deeper connection between the living and the dead. The idea of a pact between the Night's King and the White Walkers also raises questions about the nature of power and leadership in Westeros. If a former Lord Commander could turn against his own people and join forces with the White Walkers, what does that say about the nature of loyalty and betrayal in A Song of Ice and Fire? This story forces us to consider the possibility that the line between human and White Walker is not as clear-cut as we thought, and that the battle for Westeros might be as much about reclaiming lost allies as it is about defeating enemies. The legend of the Night's King, therefore, is not just a story of the past, it could be a blueprint for the future. The rebirth of magic in Westeros, symbolized by the return of Daenerys Targaryen's dragons and the resurrection of Jon Snow, seems to have awakened ancient and dangerous forces. The White Walkers, creatures of cold and darkness, have returned, and their presence suggests that the battle between ice and fire is far from over. When we observe the rise of these key characters, like Jon and Daenerys, we realize they are not just players in a Game of Thrones but also essential pieces in a much larger war, one that echoes the legends of A Song of Ice and Fire. This war, which transcends power intrigues and reaches the mystical roots of Westeros, highlights the deep connection between the White Walkers and the Targaryens. On one side, we have the ice of the White Walkers, advancing with a hidden purpose. On the other, the fire of the dragons, rising as the last defense against the darkness. Jon Snow, a man with Stark and Targaryen blood, embodies this duality, destined to play a crucial role in the impending fight. In Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, these opposing forces are set to collide in an epic manner, and the fate of Westeros may depend on who best understands the balance between them. As magic flows once more through the continent, bringing ancient prophecies to life and revealing buried secrets, it becomes clear that the conflict between ice and fire is not just a battle for survival but also a struggle for control of the future. The White Walkers, as symbols of eternal winter, and the Targaryens, with their fiery dragons, are the two poles of this cosmic dispute. The connection between them might not just be one of enmity but also of necessity, two sides of the same coin, locked in an endless cycle of death and rebirth. As a song of ice and fire progresses, the clash between these forces will determine the fate of not just Westeros, but the entire world. As we've explored the mysteries and complexities surrounding the White Walkers, from their ancient origins to their potential motives and the deep connections to Westeros history, it's clear that there is much more to these creatures than meets the eye. The conflict between ice and fire, embodied by the White Walkers and the Targaryens, is far from simple. It's a battle that has been brewing for centuries, one that challenges our understanding of heroism, loyalty, and the very nature of the world of Game of Thrones. If you've enjoyed diving into these dark and intricate theories, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future explorations into the mysteries of Westeros. As a new channel, we rely on your support to continue bringing you deep dives into the rich lore of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Your likes, shares, and comments make all the difference in helping us grow and bringing more fans into our community. Thank you for joining us on this journey. There's much more to uncover in the world of Westeros.